We are so happy that you stopped by today for another edition of Media Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Mary Treese Griffin in Atlanta. Today, very excited to share with you some conversation with a subject matter expert that you're going to want to get to know. Please make welcome Melissa Kandel from the Little Word Studio, who is with us today on Media Champions, all the way out in California. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. I'm so excited. This whole setup is amazing. So kudos to you. I'm excited for this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, a lot of times we talk about how we had to change because of COVID, and this is one of those changes because of COVID, but it kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm. You know,
you figure out how to make it work. I love the fact on your website that you, when it comes to storytelling, you give an example of the difference between a house and a home is a great story. And I absolutely adore that. And it's so true. Let's talk about that and why it's important to know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about COVID, and for our company, it's funny, I started my company exactly 3 years ago. And when COVID hit, I was thinking, okay, this was a fun run. I'm now going to have to shut down. All my clients are going to leave. This company is done. And that's not what happened. What happened was we blew up. I needed to hire more people. We were working more than ever. And I was thinking to myself, why is this happening? And the reason is because we couldn't be in person, and the only currency, the only competitive advantage that brands had was a story. So to use that metaphor, it was, here's a house, we want to turn it into a home, but you can't do that without having really quality storytelling. And that's kind of what we focus on and what we work on with our clients.
You also work with your clients on the trends, and that's so important because the trends change all the time. But there were a lot of really unique trends that happened during COVID. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the trends that we really have been seeing a lot of is short form video. Everyone wants short form video, whether it's Instagram Reels, TikToks. And so we're helping create a lot of that short form video. But I find it's almost this dichotomous trend where you see short form video exploding, but at the same time, you also see longer form content becoming more popular. And the reason for that, I have a theory, is that people had more time. One of the trends we saw in COVID was everyone adopted a dog. I adopted a dog in COVID. And people started reading more. That was another one of those trends that just happened because of this new normal that we established. And because people are reading more, coupled with the fact that they had more time at home, their schedules were a little more flexible, I think the appetite for long form content definitely increased. And we saw that in some of the client work that we were getting and some of the projects that were coming in where clients were saying, we want 1,000-word piece, or we want, research on this topic for an editorial. And that's where I think the trend is interesting. You see the short form video on one end, but then you also see the longer form video becoming extremely popular as well. So that's been an interesting balance.
It does depend too on what platform you're using, correct? And this is where your subject matter expertise clearly comes in as well, because what platform can sustain the story form that you're putting on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, if you're talking long form content, it's LinkedIn. LinkedIn can absolutely, like you said, I love that word, sustain. It can sustain extremely long content. People are on LinkedIn. It's a very professional network. People are on there to read, so you can put much longer pieces. Whereas on TikTok, you're not going to want to you can't even put up, but you can put up long form content. The entire concept of TikTok is predicated on that short form video. So I think, it obviously depends on the platform. And that's a big part of strategies going forward. When you do create content, you not only have to create the story, but you also have to understand the context where you're going to upload that story and share it, because your audience on Instagram is not the same as your audience on LinkedIn or Medium. And all these different platforms have a very nuanced set of readers and interactors and engagers and followers. And so knowing that will help you create success when you do have a piece of content that you publish.
Well, Melissa, you and your company, you pay attention to detail. I was telling you earlier, I think you have one of the classiest websites I've ever seen. So we want to make that connect for folks. But thank you so much for sharing time, Melissa. And I do hope you'll come back.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was amazing. I always like talking to people like you who are just experts and wanting to share all of this with our industry. So thank you.
Well, I am a sponge around folks like you. So thank you very much for helping me in that department. And we will talk soon, Melissa.
All right.
For the
Great
rest
to see you.
You as well. And we're going to connect folks to Melissa. If you want to know, you've got to check out this website. I mean, by all means, it is one of the classiest websites I've ever seen. Very creative. And you're going to find the answers that you're looking for when you're trying to tell your story. So we'll make that connect just for you. Go to dailyadbrief.com and we'll do that. I'm Mary Treese in Atlanta. Hope you come back for more Media Champions. Have a great day.